Alright, so in the previous video, we basically got everything set up to left shoot. We have the backboard, everything watered, all that good stuff. So going back to the cannon, before we were stacking sand, when we go back in the barrel, we want to change some things. So remember, before when we were shooting upwards, we had trapdoors, we had blocks there like such. So now we got to remove those blocks. So we got those blocks removed, and of course we then need to adjust that up there. You want it to be flat, and then you do want to put another trapdoor difference, but up top there. So that would be for the sand, slab bust, and left shooting portion. Because what's going to happen there is the two dispensers that go off at a different time are going to work in tandem with the 13 dispensers, and it's going to, rather than shoot the hammer straight up, it's going to shoot the sand and slab bust kind of parallel over, and then the slab bust is going to go up over and then parallel almost. If you don't have the two dispensers going off at different times, it's going to go, one's going to go parallel and the other one's going to go fly up. So we've gone ahead and turned slab bust off. This cannon is perfectly suited for shooting straight. However, when you do shoot left, the distance between the hammer and the rest of the shot is a little different, meaning it's not going to travel as far in the same tick. So you're not going to be able to slab bust in terms of the tunnel effect slab bust. So what we'll need to do is we need to add delay if we were to slab bust. And so then you have to slab bust. Then you need to stack a couple times. And then you'd be able to get to the top and it would hybrid and everything. That's addressed in newer cannons in a bunch of different ways. But with the size of the hammer, it's not feasible to be able to full stack. So we're going to turn that back on so that when we do hybrid, we'll get all that sorted. You do want to add a bit of delay. If you have it on the stock delay from straight shooting, it's going to mess up left shooting. So you do need to add some delay. It's probably the minimum amount right there, but you can add a decent amount more. So we got the delays, we're going to go put those on the correct amount there, which would be that for what we're doing. Got the delays, the holes we've already cannoned. You could add more delay up to the end of that. So when you get to about halfway between that wall there and where we were cannoning, that would be about where our current timing setup would explode, as we would see. That right there would make us go past that wall to about 4 or 5 chunks. However, we don't need to shoot 4 or 5 chunks. We only need to shoot 4 walls, so we leave it on that initial timing there. So let's add some more red sand in real quick. We got sand loaded up. Left shooter is on. Should be golden. So you can see the two systems of dispensers firing off. And now what's going to happen here, unfortunately, is we're going to be hybriding the backboard. After we sort out this. Yeah, so a lot of times on Controller, again, this will be a video for another time, talking about methods of rating. But everyone's spawners would be at like 230 to 240. But we wouldn't need to cannon at 230 or 240 or 250 because it takes, what, 24 blocks for spawner to fall, or a mob to fall. Spawner pillars are generally about 10 tall, so that means the grinder room is going to be about 30. The roof's going to be like 5 to 10 thick, so we'll say 240 minus 30. 215 is going to be, we could cannon there and hit water layers, or even lower. Hit water layers after left shooting, we can reverse up and hit spawners, and we'd have a 3-dimensional space to work with. Again, another theory for another time. So here, it's not going to full stack. Anything like at 210, 200, 180, that sand cannon, it will in fact full stack. So 2 shots for that. So this will happen in a real raid. With that method, you're going to hybrid your backboard because of how the sand pillar is on that first wall. So just for sake of convenience, I'm going to go ahead and place that there. If I can figure out how to place blocks. And also for sake of convenience, because you can see that's the red. It's about where it's stacked in the first shot. I'm just going to place that there so it full stacks and hybrids in the same shot. No real reason to add that back on, other than the fact I did. It's going to work the exact same way with or without it. So there is a very slight scatter. It's because you have the comparator and then you have a full repeater going into that. Or excuse me, going into the dispensers after that. You can do some really cool things with comparators, Minecraft, capacitors and such. I didn't really learn more about that until I talked to guys with this. Get the next wall. Probably one of the last ones here. We got 1 or 2 more. There we go. So we came through all those easily. The only issue is you'd have to restack again on that first wall, if the first wall is next to your sand pillar. If not, if you have some space where you want hybrid your backboard, things will get really easy. So if we were to cannon further, you just adjust timings like that. Again, never change the left shooting part, but the hammer you can always adjust as long as it goes up after. And this will go hit that wall to the side. Angle's messed up there. I made a mistake earlier, but yeah, good stuff.